What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So we're going to do a stimulus check update, but I'm going to talk about the airline industry. And I know you're thinking, airline industry? Why are we talking about the airline industry if we're talking about stimulus checks? Well, this all ties into a possible stimulus package with more stimulus checks and all that. And so I'll discuss that. We're going to show a video first, and then we'll have a discussion afterward. But first, if you guys could please hit that like button, I really appreciate it. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. We do daily videos as well as live streams on the weekends. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is show you this video. We'll show you the video real quick. It's only about a minute and a half. So let's go ahead and take a look.
American Airlines said on Tuesday that unless federal aid is extended, its workforce will shrink by 40,000 in October, including 19,000 in voluntary cuts. After Tuesday's announcement, American stock fell 4.4%, dragging down other airline shares. In March, airlines received $25 billion in U.S. government stimulus funds meant to cover payrolls and protect jobs through September. Airlines and unions have lobbied Washington for another $25 billion before federal funds expire, but talks have stalled as Congress struggles to agree on a broader coronavirus relief package. Airlines argue that the industry is essential to a quick economic recovery during a pandemic that has killed more than 175,000 Americans and produced a recession that has seen the loss of millions of jobs. Another large U.S. carrier, United Airlines, has sent notices of potential furloughs to 36,000 employees. Delta Airlines announced on Monday furloughs of nearly 2,000 pilots, but has said the numbers could be reduced if they agree to a cut in minimum pay. In a company memo seen by Reuters, based on current demand levels, American now plans to fly less than 50% of its normal schedule in the fourth quarter, with international flying reduced to only a quarter of 2019 levels. American, which had 140,000 employees before the pandemic, said last week it was also suspending flights to 15 small U.S. cities in October.
All right, so you guys see that's pretty crazy, right? And we'll call these I like to call them legacy carriers. So you have Delta, you have American Airlines, and you have United, and they're all struggling right now. And that's no surprise, right? Because we see what's going on in our country when it comes to COVID-19 and the fact that people aren't traveling the way they used to. Businesses aren't seeing travel as an option. So these airlines are really, really hurting. And so they need more money. That's what they're asking for. So in the CARES Act, they were allotted $25 billion, and that went to pay their employees. And so they were able to keep their employees paid in full without having to lay anyone off or anything like that. And there was stipulation in there that said they could not do any layoffs until October 1st. So the airline industry is saying that we don't have the funds to continue to employ these people, so we are going to have to do furloughs and layoffs. And so now we're faced with October 1st, not only a budget talk, and we're going to talk about all the different issues that are going on, but not only budget talks that need to be resolved. We have the airline industry that needs to be resolved. And I talked about this about a month ago when I talked about United. United came out and said 36,000 employees are potentially going to have to go on furlough starting October 1st if they don't receive any more funding. And I think at the time they were asking for $5 billion. And so this needs to be addressed. This is one of those things where if you let this happen, then you're going to have a lot of people getting laid off, a lot more people getting laid off, and that's really going to hurt the economy. So this is something that we'll see something happen with this in September. Now, so if we see something happen with this in September, does that mean that you bring everything else in there as well? And that is probably what's going to happen because they need a stimulus package in order to move forward with the airline funding. And so that's a good sign. In the sense, I mean, this is a bad story, but it's a good sign in the sense that if they can get this money to the airlines, then that means that we can get a stimulus package with everything in it that needs to happen. But we have to look at some of the things that are going on right now. And in September, this is the reason why I said September is going to be a really busy month. I thought August would be a busy month. At least the beginning of the month. I knew the end of the month it wasn't going to be that busy when it came to stimulus package talks and all that because of the conventions. So we knew at the beginning of August we'd probably hear a lot of negotiating and stuff like that, which we did, but they got stalled out. But now we're looking at a lot more in September that needs to happen. And so let's just talk about some of the things that are on the table right now. So you have the stimulus package debate, obviously, that will start up September 8th. Probably they'll start negotiating again. The airline industry funding, they need money. And we have to keep our airlines running. I mean, we can't just say, okay, we're not going to give them money and just let them go under. Just like American Airlines was saying, they have 140,000 employees, and they're talking about 40,000 of them will be gone, in the sense that some of them are just going to be retiring. Some of them are going to be in a situation where they take like a leave, and then that 19,000 involuntarily could be laid off or furloughed. So that's the situation that American Airlines is looking at. So the other legacy carriers are probably facing a similar situation. So we have that funding that needs to happen. But we also have the budget talks for the fiscal year. So we know fiscal year in September 30th, they have to have something in place to pay all the federal departments. And so we'll have to see what they do with that. If they can't come to a resolution on that, then we have a government shutdown. That's a whole nother issue. And that just can't happen. We have the enhanced unemployment. We know that will be running out early September, and so they're going to have to address that. We have the financial hardship. People are struggling right now, and there's no surprise. We have people being evicted and things like that. We have the eviction assistance program, but we don't have an eviction moratorium. So now people are either going to have to pay up for the last months that they didn't pay their rent, and if they can't pay that up, then they can be evicted. So that's another situation. And then we have an election. And I've been saying this since day one when it comes to another stimulus package, more stimulus checks. It's an election year. And so a lot of stuff will happen during an election year that might not normally happen if it's not an election year. So because of that, that's what we're looking at. These are the issues that we're looking at right now. And so September, all of this stuff is in play. And so we'll see what happens when it comes down to it. I think in September, we're probably going to get a better deal when it comes to a stimulus package than we would have in August, just because August was a short month and there weren't a lot of timetables. And the executive order that the president signed, that kind of, quieted stuff a little bit. But now we see that, okay, enhanced unemployment, we can't do another executive order when it comes to enhanced unemployment. There's just no money. So it looks like September is going to be very busy. And because of the expiration of a lot of these different things that are going to be happening in September or right after September, things are going to definitely need to get done in September. So we'll have to just see what happens. I'll be following it every day, just like I always do, and let you guys know what's going on. But I think the airline industry, the talks in the airline industry, I think that's really going to push politicians on both sides to say, hey, we need to get something done. We have to. We cannot let our legacy carriers fail. We just can't let that happen. And so they can put a stimulus package together that incorporates a lot of the different things that have been talked about, cut out all the pork, and then let's just get something that's going to help the American people. So with all the things going on in September, we're just going to have to see what happens, see where it goes. But I do have a question for you, and that question is, do you think we will see a stimulus package signed in September? And that means signed by the president. So get approved by the House, get approved by the Senate, get signed by the president. Do you think that will happen in September? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.